Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Melissa, for those of you visiting my channel for the first time. Don't mind my hair, just got back from the gym, did a little bit of HIIT cardio. That's what today's video is going to be about. The difference between low intensity steady state cardio and HIIT cardio, or high intensity interval training. But if you haven't already followed me on Instagram or Twitter or Snapchat, go ahead and give your girl a follow. It's okay, I'll wait for you to go do that. Good? Got it? Okay, so let's get into this video. When I first started in my fitness journey, this was kind of an unfamiliar territory for me. I wasn't really sure, should I just be walking on a treadmill for 30 minutes? Should I be doing burpees? Should I be sprinting? What should I be doing to maximize my fat loss? So I did a little bit of research. This is what I know about steady state cardio and HIIT cardio. So low intensity steady state cardio is doing something like walking on the treadmill, doing the elliptical, riding the bicycle, and walking at 60 to 70% of your maximum capacity for about 20 minutes or more. Now, ideally, to get the maximum benefits of fat loss with steady state cardio is to do it for at least 45 minutes. Now, some great things that steady state cardio offers you, it improves your cardiovascular endurance, which you can carry over into your daily activities if you hike, if you bike, if you do outdoor activities, any recreational sports. An improved cardiovascular system can definitely benefit you in those areas. Steady state cardio is easier to stick to. It's easy to hop on the treadmill and set it to your desired speed and keep it there for your 30 minutes while you listen to music, watch TV, read a book, or whatever. So it's pretty simple in that fact. And it's perfect for beginners. It doesn't really take much planning. You don't have to keep track of how long you're walking and keeping track of your recovery period. It's really a no-brainer. The way that I look at steady state cardio is that I use it to burn fat. I know that if I do it for at least 45 minutes, I will be using my fat stores for energy, which in turn results in fat loss, as long as it's accompanied by a caloric deficit. So I also think about it as being calories in versus calories out. So what I mean by that is I can burn 300 calories on an elliptical machine, or I can cut 300 calories out for my diet. Either way, I'm getting the same benefit, calories in versus calories out. In my opinion, the only drawback to steady state cardio is that it can get boring. It's repetitive, you're doing the same thing for, 30 minutes to an hour. And especially if I don't have a lot of time in the gym, I need to get a lift in and get a little bit of cardio in. I really don't have an hour to spend on the bicycle or the elliptical. I just need to get in and get out in under 40 minutes.
Nobody pray for me.
Now let's talk a little bit about HIIT, or high intensity training. So HIIT is doing a movement or an activity such as sprinting, doing burpees, battle ropes, mountain climbers, and you're going for maximum capacity. You're going all out. And you're doing this for a very short period of time or little bursts of energy. So let's say you are sprinting on the treadmill for 30 seconds to a minute. Some people even go to like 3 minutes. I'm not one of those people. And then you take a short recovery period to kind of let your heart rate drop back down, hence recover, just to do it all over again. So the up and down of your heart rate is what you're trying to achieve. So I like to think of HIIT cardio as what I would use to burn carbs. So I'm on a ketogenic diet, and if I have a day where I maybe have gone over my carbs or know that I will be going over my carbs, I like to incorporate HIIT training, because this type of training uses the glycogen that's stored in your muscles. It prevents the carbohydrates that I've eaten to raise my insulin, which I don't want that to happen, because that ultimately stops the fat mobilization in my body, and the whole goal of it all is to lose the fat. Some of the reasons that I like HIIT is that you can get a complete cardio session in like half the time. Usually my HIIT sessions are 10 to 20 minutes long, which allows me to burn more calories in less time. Another bonus to HIIT is that it demands greater recovery, which means that you're going to continue to burn calories after you're done working out. So this is a great tool to use to shed fat, because not only are you burning your calories during the workout, but you're going to continue to have that caloric burn after your workout. You're also able to build lean body mass, and also it suppresses your appetite, whereas steady state cardio can sometimes increase your appetite. I mean, at least I know with me, if I am walking on a treadmill or riding a bike, for 30-40 minutes, and when I'm done, I notice that I'm hungry or I'm able to eat. After I complete a HIIT session, food is the furthest thing from my mind. I'm not even in the mood to eat at that point, because I'm tired, I'm dripping with sweat, and if I've really overdone, I kind of feel nauseated, so I really don't want to eat at that point. With HIIT, you are at higher risk for obtaining an injury just because of the physical demands you're putting your body through. And also, if you're doing HIIT every single day, it can actually impede your muscle growth, because if you combine that with strength training, you're not going to allow your body enough time to recover. Whereas steady state cardio, you can do that every day and it won't impede your muscle growth. In my opinion, or what I've experienced in my own journey, is I like to incorporate both. I like to do steady state cardio and I like to do HIIT training. So steady state cardio, I'll do that maybe 3 to 4 times a week, as well as HIIT training I'll do 3 to 4 times a week. And I just kind of alternate it. And honestly, using steady state cardio and using HIIT training as a tool to lose weight, it really does need to be combined with a diet that puts you in a caloric deficit. Ultimately, your nutrition is going to play the biggest factor in your weight loss. Okay guys, so I wanted to share with you one of my favorite desserts that I am loving right now, and this is my Ketogenic cinnamon cake. You're going to do 3 cups of almond flour, 2 tablespoons of baking powder, and a 1/4 cup of protein. Now you can use unflavored. I used PE Science Snickerdoodle flavor, which works really well in baking. You're also going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda to that mixture. Mix those dry ingredients well. And you might notice that there's going to be a few clumps here and there in the dry mix. You want to make sure that you just break any visible clumps up. Next, I took a 1/2 cup of softened butter. And to this I added 3/4 cup of granulated erythritol. You could also use Swerve. I'm sure you can use Splenda, but if you're really trying to cut out the carbs, you probably don't want to use that type of sweetener. So I added in that erythritol, and then I blended it together, but I'm showing you the 3 eggs that I'm going to be adding later. So I mix that up there until it's nice and smooth. It's going to be kind of chunky, but it's going to look well uniformed. It's going to look like it's all mixed in together well. So now you're going to crack your eggs. Put all 3 of the large whole eggs in there. And don't be like me and get shell in there, because then you'll have to pick it out. So after you add the eggs, you're going to mix that all in, and it's going to be, you want it to be a smooth consistency. It's going to look really blended well and smooth. I added a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract to the mixture and just blended that up really quick. It was still nice and smooth at this point. So you're going to mix that again, and now you're going to add half of your dry mixture into this wet mixture that you have. So add about half of that in, and you're going to use your blender. You could probably use this by hand. I just used a hand mixer. You're going to mix it up really well until it looks like it's combined well. And then I added a 1/2 cup of almond milk. So you're going to go ahead and pour that into your mixture. That's going to thin it out a little bit, because at this point it was pretty thick. So of course you're going to mix this again. Once this is all combined really well, that's when you're going to go ahead and you're going to add the other half of your dry mixture that you have. So just go ahead and dump that all in there. Mix it up till it's nice and smooth. You just want to make sure there aren't any dry bits, you know, on the side or anything. So then you're going to just set this aside, and it's time to make the cinnamon and sugar or erythritol filling that you're going to be putting in the middle of this cake. So you're going to take 3 tablespoons of your granulated erythritol. Again, you can use Swerve, you could try it with Splenda. So 3 tablespoons of that, and then into this little mixture, you're going to add 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. Just mix that up really well with a spoon. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then you're going to set that aside and use that as your filling in the middle of the cake. This cake was so good, and I could not believe the macros with it. It honestly tasted like, I don't know, it tastes like cinnamon. It tastes like cinnamon cake. It was really good. So like I said, stir everything together. You're going to put that aside, and you need to grab your baking dish that you're going to be putting this cake in. Spray it with nonstick cooking spray. Any kind is fine. I mean, I prefer olive oil, but whatever you have is perfectly fine. And then this dough is kind of, it's not going to pour out of the bowl. So you're going to need to spoon it into your baking dish, and then you want to smooth it out the best you can. What I should have done was sprayed my spatula a little bit with cooking spray to keep the dough from sticking to it, but it worked out okay. Then you're going to generously take half, maybe 3/4 of your cinnamon and erythritol mixture, and you're going to sprinkle that all over the cake. This is going to be your filling, so you want it to be pretty thick so that you can taste it, you know, when you're eating your delicious cake. So sprinkle that shit all over there, and you're going to take the rest of your dough or your dough mixture and put that on top. Now this is where it got kind of difficult for me, because I was trying to smooth it evenly over the top, but you know, it was getting stuck to the spoon. It was lifting up the cinnamon mixture that I already had on top of the inner layer of the cake. So, I mean, it doesn't have to be pretty. You're gonna put frosting on the top of this. So just spread it out as best as you can. And then you're gonna pop that in the oven for about 35 minutes at 325 degrees. So it may take a little bit longer or a little bit less. You just want to keep an eye on it and pull it out when you see that the edges are nice and like golden brown. You can also take a toothpick and put that in the middle of the cake and make sure that it comes out nice and clean. So while that's cooking, we're gonna make the frosting. It's pretty simple. 3 tablespoons of softened cream cheese, 2 tablespoons of powdered erythritol, a tablespoon of heavy cream, and ½ teaspoon of vanilla extract. And there was my son peeking in on the camera. So you're gonna mix that all up really well. Make sure to get any lumps out. You want it to be like a frosting like consistency, so kind of thick but still spreadable. Now, y'all, it's time for this cake. So pull that bad boy out of the oven and admire it in all its beauty. And oh my gosh, this smells so freaking good. My house smelled so good when I was making this. So pull that out, and I don't know why I put my frosting in this Ziploc bag. I thought it would be easy to kind of, you know, apply it all pretty on top, but it didn't really work out that way. So I ended up spreading it all on evenly, which worked out just fine. Get it all nice and even. And then that remaining portion of the cinnamon and erythritol mixture that you have, you're going to take that and you're going to sprinkle that all over the top of your beautiful, beautiful cake. Now, I forgot to mention, before you frost your cake, you want to make sure that it's cool so that the frosting doesn't just, you know, melt and then fall onto the sides of the cake. So sprinkle that, and then you're going to cut and enjoy your cake because it is time to eat it. Now, check out the macros for this. It is unbelievable, and it is so good. I guarantee you're going to have to resist eating more than one piece. So there you go. I hope you guys liked this recipe, and if you give it a try, send me a comment and let me know what you think of it. I hope I was able to answer some of the questions you may have had about steady state cardio versus HIIT cardio. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.